In the vast, silent theatre of the cosmos, our world is but a tiny stage. Here, bathed in the gentle light of a single star, life unfolds in its myriad spectacular forms. We have always looked up at the heavens and looked inward at our own minds, filled with a profound and persistent curiosity. What is this reality we inhabit? Is the world we perceive the full picture, or only a fraction of a grander existence? This question invites us on a journey into the very nature of what we call real, a gentle, persistent whisper through millennia. The universe is breathtaking in scale and mystery, from the delicate dance of subatomic particles to the majestic waltz of galaxies. Phenomena lie just beyond our grasp. Imagine a vast and ancient cavern, deep within the earth, a womb of stone that has never known the touch of sunlight, a place of profound silence, where time is measured by the steady drip of water. Here, sheltered from the sun and the sky, a community of people has lived since birth. Their entire existence has unfolded within these damp, echoing walls. They have no memory of a world outside, no stories of fields or stars. They are prisoners, but they do not know it, for they have no concept of freedom to compare it to. They are seated in a single, unmoving row, their limbs and necks bound by heavy chains since childhood. The restraints are so complete that they cannot move or even turn their heads to glimpse their neighbours or the world behind them. This enforced stillness has shaped their minds as much as their bodies, teaching them that reality is something to be passively observed. Their gaze is fixed permanently upon the flat stone wall that stands before them. This wall is their sky, their horizon, their entire universe. All their hopes and fears are projected onto this single stony canvas. It is a simple, unchanging and profoundly limited existence, yet for them it is all that is or ever has been. Behind these prisoners, unseen and unknown to them, a great fire burns, its flames dancing and casting a warm, flickering glow throughout the cavern. Between this fire and the prisoners, there is a raised walkway, a kind of stage. Along this path, other figures, the puppeteers of this strange theatre, walk back and forth. We are not told who they are or why they perform this ceaseless parade. They carry all manner of objects, statues of animals, carved figures of trees and various man-made implements. The firelight catches these objects, projecting their moving silhouettes onto the wall in front of the prisoners. For these inhabitants of the cave, the flickering shadows are not mere representations, they are the absolute truth, the only reality they have ever perceived. A shadow of a bird is not a representation. From this dance of darkness and light, they have constructed everything: their language, their culture, their entire system of knowledge. Their wise men are those who are best at studying the movements of the shadows, predicting their patterns and recalling their sequences. This is what passes for intellect in the cave, a mastery of illusion. They hold competitions, awarding honors to those who can most accurately identify and name the shapes as they pass. This strange and somber world of the cave, this theatre of illusions, is Plato's powerful metaphor for an unexamined life, a state of human consciousness trapped by perception, mistaking the shadows of custom and sensory input for the truth itself. The illusion within the cave is not limited to sight alone. The puppeteers walk along a raised walkway behind the prisoners. Their voices carry and echo off the cavern walls. The cave's acoustics make the sound appear to come from the shadows themselves. A shadow resembling a person passes. A voice echoes through the chamber. They attribute life. They attribute agency. They attribute sound, sight, sound, fusion. We can recognize this state in our own world. We often see only a part of a complex situation, a mere shadow of the truth. From that fragment, we construct an entire narrative. The fire burning behind the prisoners is a crucial element of this allegory. It is the engine of the entire illusion, not the ultimate illumination like the sun, but a source of light nonetheless. Doctrines, dogmas, cultural norms. The puppeteers are the agents of this constructed reality. Storytellers, politicians, media figures, advertisers. They control the narratives a society consumes. Imagine now that one of the prisoners is suddenly freed. The chains, cold for a lifetime, fall away with a deafening clatter. The sudden absence of their weight is as disorienting as their presence once was. Freedom, in its first moment, feels like a terrifying void. For the first time, this individual is compelled to stand, their atrophied muscles screaming in protest. They can turn their head, a simple act that feels like a monumental rebellion against a lifetime of forced stillness. Every new sensation is a fresh assault. The initial experience would not be joyous liberation, but intense pain and confusion. The eyes, accustomed only to the cave's dim twilight, are dazzled by the fire's light, the very source of all the shadows they ever knew, now burning away the comfort of their ignorance. The world, once a simple flat screen, suddenly reveals a bewildering third dimension. Depth and volume are concepts for which they have no language, a sensory overload that threatens their sanity. The freed prisoner would then see the puppeteers and the carved objects, the architects of their perceived reality. The sight is a cognitive earthquake. This is the moment of profound disillusionment, the nauseating realization that your entire life was a curated performance. Who are our modern puppeteers? The algorithms shaping our feeds? The ideologies demanding our allegiance? The journey of the mind requires questioning these hidden architects. Every step away from the known world is a step into painful uncertainty. A guide, perhaps a teacher or mentor, forcibly drags the reluctant prisoner away from the fire and up a steep, rugged ascent toward the cave mouth. The climb is brutal, a physical metaphor for the intellectual struggle against one's own cherished illusions. This is the painful process of true education, a radical unlearning of dismantling the comfortable structures of our old reality, piece by painful piece. Finally, the prisoner is hauled out of the cave and into the world above. The brilliant sun, Plato's symbol for ultimate truth, is an agony to eyes that have only known firelight and shadows. The first instinct is to flee, to retreat into the familiar darkness. The truth can be terrifying. But gradually, as their eyes begin to adjust to the dazzling light, a new vibrant reality slowly comes into focus. They would be able to look at the objects themselves, the intricate bark of a tree, the vibrant colors of a flower, the solid presence of an animal. These are not flat copies, they are real, pulsing with an existence the prisoner never could have conceived of. Eventually, the former prisoner can lift their gaze to the sky to observe the moon and the stars. This is the realm of abstract thought, understanding the universal patterns that govern reality, a crucial intellectual acclimatization before one can dare to gaze upon the sun itself. And then, the final ascent, to look at the sun. Not just as a star, but as the source of all light and life, the ultimate principle that makes everything else intelligible. This is Plato's form of the good, the fundamental truth that illuminates all other truths. But the journey does not end in enlightenment. A new duty is born, to return to the cave, to go back into the darkness and tell the others. But their eyes, now used to the sun, would be blind in the gloom. The prisoners would see this truth-teller not as a liberator, but as a dangerous fool. Plato warns they would kill him for threatening their reality. Plato's ancient allegory resonates with astonishing force in our contemporary world. The cave remains, but its walls are now the glowing screens of our televisions, our computers, and the smartphones we carry everywhere. They form the boundaries of our perception. These devices project a relentless stream of images and narratives, a reality curated by unseen puppeteers. News organizations, corporations, social media algorithms, and political factions all cast their preferred shadows. These are not just neutral shapes, they are stories engineered to provoke, to bypass our reason, and target our deepest emotions. We sit captive, our gazes fixed, often accepting these flickering images as the entirety of truth. Why? Because the world outside the cave is complex and demanding. The shadows, by contrast, are simple, comforting, and confirm what we already believe, offering us a sense of certainty and belonging. The architecture of this new cave is insidious. Algorithms, the digital firekeepers, learn our desires and create personalized realities. They tap into our brain's reward system, feeding us content that feels good, that feels right. In these digital echo chambers, our own beliefs are reflected back at us, endlessly amplified. Our biases are not just reinforced, they are calcified, hardened into unshakable certainties, walling us off from different points of view and from each other. But how do we break free? The path out begins with conscious acts of rebellion. First, actively seek different perspectives. Read sources that challenge your beliefs and engage in genuine dialogue, not to win, but to understand. Second, turn away from the addictive glow of the screen. Create space for silence and introspection. In this quiet, we can begin to distinguish the echo of the cave from the sound of our own voice. Plato's allegory is not a story of despair, but one of enduring hope, a call to the adventurer within each of us. The journey out of the cave is the fundamental human journey. It begins with a single act of intellectual courage, the act of questioning. Why do I believe what I believe? Who benefits from my certainty? The quest for truth is not a final destination, but a continuous process of becoming. It mirrors the very process of science, which constantly dismantles its own caves of understanding. We once saw the Earth as the center of all things. Now we see it as a pale, blue dot in a vast cosmos. Our perception of reality itself is a shadow, a neurological interpretation of a universe that, at its quantum core, defies all common sense. A vast, luminous expanse is waiting to be explored, not just in the cosmos, but within our own minds. So break your chains. Dare to be blinded by the light. Ask the question. Turn your head. And if this video resonated with you, hit like and subscribe.